Hi, this is Casey Wright, Principal with Right Stuff Marketing Solutions, and welcome back to our Lesson 2, Part 2 in our Simple series, this one called Simply Direct Marketing. We spoke about a lot of the elements and methodologies of direct marketing in the first half, but in the second half we're going to get into catalog, the web, direct marketing, and a few other things that are going to be very helpful, so stay tuned. The next item we're going to look at are catalogs. And of course, catalogs are everywhere, and in many cases, direct marketers decided to quit sending out print catalogs and just go to their e-commerce website and put their catalog on there. They felt it was cheaper, which it is, and they felt that the response rate would be okay. But what they didn't realize was that when you have an e-commerce site with an online catalog and you have a print catalog that goes out, your response rate goes up by a magnitude of 3. So before you think about getting rid of your print catalog, test. Anyway, the elements of a catalog, your front cover. This is your main advertising vehicle, the main driver for people to be enticed to open this thing up and not dump it into the recycling bin. The inside front cover is where you get to introduce your company. Often the picture of the president, his statement having to do with the mission, vision, and values of the company is on there. And there's also a table of contents. The back cover is almost as important as the front cover, because if you think about it, when people get a catalog, it is either with the front cover facing up or the back cover facing up. So on the back cover, that's a great place to put additional product. You have to leave room for the address, the source code, the customer name, customer number. So, but the back cover can also be a great advertising tool. The order form. Many catalogs still use bound-in order forms. Most catalogs have gotten away from this. Their sense is that they want to drive people to their website to place the order and to use the catalog while they're sitting at their computer. You can also put advertorial in your catalog to keep people reading. This is interesting either product information or general information for those in your audience, often accompanied by photographs that don't even include your product. It's kind of an expensive thing to do, but it does increase the amount of time people spend in a catalog, hence the probability that they're going to place an order. Make sure you state your guarantees and any disclaimers that you have right up front. You have to make sure that you do this so that if people are concerned about, well, what if I don't like it? What if it's broken? You need to make sure that you get rid of all of these negative thoughts ahead of time and assure them that whatever happens, you're standing with them. Offer them a change of address. In other words, you've sent this catalog to them. Maybe they've moved. Maybe they still want to get the catalog. And within that, you have to also give them the opportunity to opt out from getting your catalog. Now, you have to leave, and your printer will tell you how to do this and what spaces are available. You have to leave room for them to inkjet the location for your customer. In other words, the address, name, address, zip code, and then there is the source code number, which list the name came from, and then usually a customer number. And the customer numbers can be assigned to prospects too, so that they can be tracked as they call in your call center. And then finally, make sure that you put a telephone number and your web address on every single page. You think that people would go to the front or the back and look to see where to order, but they won't. When they're on that page, they need to be able to find out your URL as well as your telephone number. Along with direct mail, e-commerce is the fastest growing and most successful way to direct market. Unfortunately, response rates with e-commerce probably will never rank with direct mail, but the costs are so much less. Anyway, here are some elements of e-commerce, and we'll go over these very quickly. The first thing is your home page. It needs to be compelling. There needs to be replicated navigation, which means that if people go to the left side to look for how to get to their various categories, they need to find it there. If they go to the right side or the top or the bottom, they need to find things in various places so that no matter where they look, they can get from here to there. Testimonials are important because people don't want to shop where other people aren't shopping, and they do want to shop if people have had good experiences. Make sure your testimonials are honest. Speaking of testimonials, a ranking for each product is very important. And you can ask your customers what they thought, how they would rank it, and then use those. There are also services for people to be able to have an autoresponder send them an email saying, "What did you think?" and have them rate the product. Very, very important. Leads to a lot of increased sales. Bestsellers. You need to identify these. They need to pop up in a special way on your pages so that people know that these are the products that people are buying. Your design package, if you do have a product that is customizable, clothing in different colors, if it's promotional products, putting your logo on things, make sure that you've purchased a design package to allow people to customize the item and see what it looks like. This is just like the involvement device. You need to be able to allow people to zoom in, zoom out, take a look at the product details. And the shopping cart details really need to pop up to show how many items, how much have I spent, which items have I purchased and put in my cart when they're on any page. So making them go to the shopping cart page and look in the cart and then using the back button to get back to the page they were shopping on is passé. It's also a pain. So don't make them do that. You also need to make sure that people can get back to shopping. So there should be a radio button of some kind that allows them to go back to shopping after they've placed items in their cart. Look at free shipping. Don't just give it away, but if you can get people to buy more than the average order size for whatever your business is, then offer them free shipping if they place an order over a certain dollar amount. Trust medallions are extremely important. This allows people to see that you really are a good guy or a good woman, that you really have their best interests at heart. So the Better Business Bureau or the Norton or McAfee secured medallions are very, very important. If you accept credit cards, which you have to, and you could also accept PayPal, make sure that you've got all of those credit cards shown on your site, certainly on the order page, but you might want to put those on various pages throughout your site. Live chat pop-up. Typically, this can be set based on the amount of time a person stays on a particular page. It pops up and says, "Can I help you?" The great thing, allows people to ask a very quick question, but you have to make sure on the live chat that your agents are then trying to close the order. You need to have an 800 number on each page and make sure that people have that it's accessible and that it isn't blocked. In other words, that you have enough agents to handle the calls coming in. Use Google Analytics to determine how each page is doing. Your web developer can help you very easily put the Google Analytics code on each page, and then Google will go ahead and track the traffic going to each page and let you know how you're doing. And then finally, there's a company out in San Diego called SEO Moz, and they are a great resource for getting tools for about $99 a month that allow you to track the effectiveness of your search engine optimization and your keywords. All great items for e-commerce. Email direct marketing can be very, very effective. It can also be a little disappointing. First of all, If you decide you're going to go out and rent email lists, they tend to be very, very expensive. And they also tend not to be very, very responsive. So using email direct marketing, however, with your own customers, as opposed to prospecting, can be very, very good. So first of all, you want to use a third party. Now this could be like Constant Contact or Boomerang, iContact, something like that. And the reason that you want to use that is you want them to really be sending out those emails so that you aren't caught in the spam web. This means that if you send out email solicitations and a certain percentage of the people who get the email say that this is spam, then the search engines can go ahead and say, sorry, we're not going to allow this. We're not going to allow you to send any more emails out. So Constant Contact, Boomerang, and others are constantly looking to make sure that what you're sending out isn't seen as spam. Now, obviously, the subject line is going to be the most compelling thing you have. This is a little bit like the teaser on the envelope. If the subject line isn't compelling enough, people won't open the email. Use email for A/B testing. If you have an offer before you do your catalog, put together an A/B test, and you separate your email list in two, and then half the list gets one offer, the other half gets the other offer. You track them separately and see which one worked. The offer, by the way, needs to be upfront and lead to the next step very easily. And the next step, of course, is to place the order. You also need to check your page load times. Don't make your email so fancy that you've got a video in there and you've got flash and stuff is moving all over the place, because the email just won't load on people's computers fast enough and they'll click out of it. Keep it simple. Make your offer simple. Make the images simple, engaging but simple. But you need to make sure that that load time is appropriate. And then include some useful information. This could be the 10 things that you wanted to know about such and such. So this kind of thing looks like not only is it just a guy on a street corner trying to sell you something, but he also has some good advice. So that's very important for you. And the last thing is to make sure that you're driving people to the website, referring them to a catalog, or pushing them to your call center, and just make sure you're asking for the order, and then once you ask for it, tell them how to get it. Direct response television and direct response radio can be very effective. There is time that is called remnant time that often is a little bit less expensive. Obviously, off-peak hours on just local stations tend to be a little less expensive. You can have short-form ads, which would be sponsoring the weather or sponsoring traffic. But the elements that are important to these are storyboarding. In other words, write out what you're trying to say. If it's TV, what do you want the actors to do? Just get an idea roughly of how you want the thing to flow. Then you need to figure out who's going to do the production, and there are a lot of great production houses that don't cost very much that are around the country, and what talent. And you can go to an agency and get the DVDs or CDs of various talent to be able to listen to voices. Develop an identity. This should really go along with your brand identity, and develop an identity for these ads, whether it is a specific piece of music or whether it is a color scheme or typeface on your Chiron for the TV, whatever it is. Think about donutting. That's running a short spot before, say for instance, the traffic, and then right at the end of the traffic you have another short 15 seconds or something, and those tend to be very, very effective. And then the other thing is sponsorships. You can sponsor NPR or the weather or traffic, and these tend to be really short, but they tend to be very effective if repeated. And then the last thing is provide something free and useful for those who do make a call or go to the website and place an order. Make sure that you give them a number to refer to. That could be your source code. So all of these are elements of direct TV and direct response radio. Social media can be another way that you can get your direct marketing message across. In social media, and that's of course Facebook and others, Twitter, talk about a particularly good offer that's on your e-commerce site. Ask people to provide their opinions about a potential offer. In essence, this is like an A/B split test where you ask people to tell you which way they think you should place the offer, what discount would be better, whether it's dollars off or free shipping. Also, provide a link to a coupon or put the coupon in the Facebook page so that people can then go from there to your site, refer to this coupon, and get an extra discount. And then provide useful information, but make sure that you leave some of the key points still to be answered when they go to your e-commerce page. So this could be the 5 most important points about something, and you give them 2 up front and then refer them to your e-commerce page for the last 3. We said at the beginning of this presentation that you can do all of the direct marketing that you want, but when customers call in, if they can't get through to the call center, if people don't pick up the phone, if they don't treat them well, you've wasted all that money. So if you're going to have a call center, and you can either have your own or you can go ahead and subcontract this out. There are some great call center services out there, and it's on a per call basis it's more expensive, but it certainly can get up and running faster, and if you're not sure of what you're doing, then this is a great way to get started. So if you are going to use your own call center, make sure that you have an ACD system, an automatic call distribution system. This kind of system also tracks the performance of the agents. It tracks when the calls come in, how quickly they're answered, how long they're on the call, how many calls aren't answered because they're blocked because you don't have enough trunk lines coming in or you don't have enough agents to answer the phones. You need to track source codes to determine the source of the call. So every call, your agents need to ask people to flip over the catalog, look at the offer that they have, and give you that number. You really can't let that go. That's very, very important. You need to tie things together with live chat. So again, the agents between calls can also be the agents to take the live chat. Each agent needs to be scripted. So for every situation, for every product, for every variable within the product, you need to have scripts that handle all of their frequently asked questions and that answer those questions consistently and the way you want them to be answered. Use contests with your agents so that the agent who sells the most, the agent who handles the most calls, the agent who has the best attendance, any of those things can be formed into contests. And make sure if you do have contests that you put the winners and the losers up on the wall. At first you're going to feel a little odd about this, but people need to be competitive, and you need those kinds of people in your call center. Next, you want to build relationships. You want your agents to have a relationship with your customers. So if the customer calls, the agent really needs to know how often they place orders. So if they're a regular customer, the agent really should say, "Mrs. Jones, I'm so glad you called again. We're so grateful for your orders in the past." And then the following up of the orders, the following up of the phone calls with an email or a thank you note that can be sent out is most important to cement the relationship. This is Casey Wright, principal with Right Stuff Marketing Solutions, and I hope you've enjoyed this lesson in our simple series of brief courses aimed at taking the mystery out of marketing. You know, direct marketing is one of my favorite areas. It allows you to be creative, it allows you to be scientific while you analyze the results, and it is very exciting to see people calling in after you've sent out an offer. If you'd like to learn more or need help with your strategic marketing plans, please give Right Stuff Marketing Solutions a call at 978-500-9232 or visit our website at www.rightstuffmarketing.com. And as always, you're welcome to send us an email to consulting@rightstuffmarketing.com. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.